Brian Breaker.
Your little whiny baby.
Bane.
Don't assume my gender.
Friends since the 7th grade.
You're just a bitch with his phone. F*** you.
Well, sort of. One professional wrestler and one rapper get together to talk movies, comics, video games, pro wrestling, and anything that makes you say, WTF.
Let's not talk about Bane's ooze.
Harry Potter erotica. Awesome in theory, kind of a mess in practice.
This is Breaker and Bane's Power Hour.
Yeah. Breaker and Bane's Power Hour. Yeah. Grab a monster, crack it open, let's go. It's time that we start the show, no hesitation, oh no. The most energetic podcast of all of the podcasts. So when you listen to the show, you know that it kicks ass. So when I smash on these cowards like Mario did to Bowser, with the best thing you've been counting since suspenders on trousers. To all the haters, say howdy, make a believer from doubters. Put in the steak in the shower, Breaker and Bane's Power Hour. Yeah, hello. Hello. Welcome to the show. Yeah. Hello. Welcome to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are rolling sound. And it is episode, are you ready for this, Big _ Bane? It is episode 400 of Breaker and Bane's Power Hour. I, of course, am Brian Breaker, and joining me, as always, Big _ Bane for the 400th time. Holy crap, man.
Yeah, I mean...
It didn't dawn on me till I actually said it that this was episode 400.
Yeah, a long road to get to 400. And my God.
Well, you know what's funny? No, I'm sorry, go ahead. We're actually on Skype this week, so...
Yeah,
little different formula, but
our biggest episode ever, and we're Skyping it.
Yeah, I had previous weekend commitments. Damn it! Like we had to make it happen. But
you're telling me one of your good friends' wedding is more important than our podcast? How dare you?
Yeah, I know. How dare I? Should be a fun time though. Getting to see all those guys. It's been way too long.
Absolutely.
But I remember getting to episode 100 felt like it really felt like a number we'll never reach, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like 100 episodes, and then we hit 200. It's like, oh wow. Then 300. Now it's 400 episodes. Like it doesn't seem like a logical number because I never anticipated. Not that I didn't want to like keep doing this. I just never anticipated it going that long, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, we're damn near at 8 years of doing this podcast.
So, fun fact to people, I know a lot of people probably came in later on, but however you joined in on listening to us, whether you've been here from the beginning or just recently found us or whatever it might be, we started this show before the WWE Network launched because that was like a main topic we discussed is what's this network going to be like, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, straight up, like, that was the crux of the show for a while because like we were so excited about this network, and then of course, as you remember when it launched, like you couldn't watch anything on demand, it wouldn't work, and we were all pissed off about that. Then of course the network eventually became what it became, and it was the greatest thing ever, and now it's on Peacock and not quite the same.
Definitely not the same at all. And I mean, another one of our huge topics when we first started was Sting coming to the WWE.
Is it going to happen?
Yeah,
dude, he's already had a run, retired, went to the Hall of Fame, and is in another company.
Yeah, I mean it's insane. I mean all the big stories that we covered on this podcast, and we've kind of outlasted a lot of things.
It really is pretty crazy. And then I think it's really cool because when we started podcasting, I feel like we were just a shade ahead of the podcast boom. Like just a smidge. Like I had done a podcast with another guy. I was like, man, this is really fun. I would like to do this. It seems like it's doable. I hit you up because I knew we had a good rapport, and you were way more technically savvy than I was. And and of course also too it worked out because you had a lot of equipment already, which I mean we've changed all of that since then, but at the time like you had microphones and stuff, which was a thing because of your music, and it was so weird. Like we recorded the first ever episode at my parents' kitchen table.
Oh yeah,
and then we've changed locations. Geez, I don't know how many times, and it's always kind of been different. I feel like my house now is probably our best one. I mean, a lot of that has to do with the chairs, and we've kind of made it a studio, so to speak, or a makeshift studio. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, man. It's crazy to think like how long this is gone and how much we've done. And then also too, I think the coolest thing about this, and this is not at all what I expected, is to make friends from the show, like people that I consider good friends that we literally just met through podcasting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've met a ton of really cool people through this show.
Yeah, it's been, I don't know, it's been really fun, and I think it's so interesting to think, like, 'cause I remember, I don't know if you took tech ed in junior high, but when I was in 7th grade, and you probably did this too, you had like a 9 weeks or half a semester in like one of 4 classes, and one of them was tech ed. And while you're in tech ed, like every week there were like 9 stations, and you'd go to a different station. One of the stations was radio broadcasting. Did you ever do that?
No, see, I never had tech ed. I actually wish that I had taken it, but I never did.
Dude, that I remember, because like all the stations were different. Like one of them was like Sim City or something, like building the city. Which was basically just a computer game at the time.
Yeah.
And then there was a few other stations, but I remember that one being really fun because he had like a karaoke machine.
Yep.
It had handheld microphones, and so we could and he showed us how to use it. We basically made a 30-minute radio show and added commercials, talking, music. It was really fun, and I remember at that point thinking, like, this is fun, and I never thought like a career in broadcasting was going to happen or anything like that. Not that we're professional broadcasters, because we're certainly not. But I don't know. There's something about this medium that I really enjoy, and I think it's really cool the fact that we can produce this on our own, make our own show. People actually like it and listen to it. It's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, it really is cool, man. And I mean, there's a lot of, this is, like you said, it's definitely not the same as a career in radio, but it's about as close as 2 guys with 0 experience in radio can get. And it's been a lot of fun for me too. I mean, I really enjoy don't get me wrong, it's stressful at times, but I mean, it's there's a lot of fun too that goes along with doing this podcast shit.
Oh, for sure. And yeah, it can be anything. I think anything that you take pride in can be stressful. I'm sure making your music can be stressful,
Oh, absolutely.
It's just a part of the game. Well, we got some wrestling talk. What do you say we dive into it here?
Let's do it.
Well, here I am again, talking a little pro wrestling while Brinker and Bang take a little break, cracking them Bang energies. Well, listen to me, you 2 sons of bitches. Get ready to talk wrestling. Stone Cold out. Oh, hell yeah.
All right. So we got to touch on this because this is just fantastic. Bearcat Keith Lee, _Bane.
Yes.
Why? Like, that's the question.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I don't know. Apparently, there is a legendary wrestler by the name of nickname of Bearcat, and apparently
Bearcat Wright, I think.
Yes, and I'm thought that he was the first ever African American champion. I thought that's what I had read. So
it's like an homage to him, then.
Yeah, I guess it's like an homage to him. But then again, I think that has to be under the assumption that would make it Keith Lee's idea.
Right.
But
which it does not seem like it is.
Yeah, it and I think that's just because of the patterns that we have seen WWE's main roster go with the NXT wrestlers, and especially Keith Lee, because Keith Lee's gone through a lot of changes on the main roster.
Well, we forgot this. Thanks, Stone Cold.
Shout out to Stone Cold.
Yeah, he's gonna come pissed.
Whip our ass.
Yeah, he is. So
damn it.
On to the Keith Lee thing. Like, Keith Lee, I feel like, is one of those anomaly superstars where there's clearly something special, but it's sometimes he doesn't fit the typical mold. And I completely get that. And to me, though, what makes Keith Lee good is the fact that he's Keith Lee.
Right.
The whole Bearcat thing, like, I'm not. I mean, like, if that gets him on TV, I'm like, okay, you know, like if they want to call him the Bearcat Keith Lee, and that gets him on TV, like I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But I also feel like nicknames have to seem organic, and the second you start like putting it on his gear, and I'm sure it was on his Titantron and on the name graphic and everything, it's not organic. Like when Jim Ross started calling Kane the Devil's favorite demon. Like, that seemed organic, even though it's probably something he thought of, and it's a great nickname. But or like the Phenom, the Undertaker, you know, like it came across like organic.
Yeah.
So when you were like all of a sudden like, hey, we're going to stick him with this nickname and we're going to push it down your throat, that's when I feel like people resist the most.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you. I mean, I don't know, and I think it's one of those things where they're trying to utilize him in some capacity, and maybe it's like they feel like they need that fresh coat of paint on him, and again, maybe that was his idea, but maybe they just said, hey, come up with something.
And that could be where it's like, hey, you need a nickname, come up with something. You got a week.
Yeah, but then again, I liked Limitless Keith Lee.
Right.
You know, I thought that was cool. But maybe it kind of seems like from the match that he had under this name, it kind of seemed like he was kind of more of a heel. So maybe he wanted to change from Limitless Keith Lee to Keith the Bearcat Lee, which I hate the fact that it's in the middle because it.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's in the middle. So it's
Keith the Bearcat Lee.
It's Keith Bearcat Lee. Yeah. So it's like, and that doesn't flow the same way that like Bret the Hitman Hart does.
No, it'd be like Rick the Ravishing Rude.
Right. Yeah. It's
well, I've heard people call him Randy the Macho Man Savage, and that works better than this, but that's still not great. It's Macho Man Randy Savage.
Right. Exactly. So sometimes like placement in nicknames is a lot better. Like I feel like if it was Bearcat Keith Lee, that sounds a lot better than Keith Bearcat Lee.
Man, that's what's weird about WWE is I feel like they miss on a lot of things that shouldn't be that difficult.
And it's usually just tiny little things. Like
but it's big in the grand scheme. The Viking experience.
Yeah.
Eric and Ivar, like what the hell is that? You know?
Right. And I mean, hell, Hanson and Rowe, I thought those names were badass. I mean, on that front. I mean, but is what it is. I mean, I'm kind of used to that now, and I think we'll get used to Bearcat Keith Lee or Keith Bearcat Lee too, but I don't know. It's just one of those weird things.
See, I also feel the same with they changed Matt Riddle to just Riddle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it because it's like, you know, Goldberg. I know for a while they were just calling Bobby Lashley, you know. But
right.
When your last name is also like a term, that's super confusing to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hey, it's Riddle. Like, what? I don't know.
Yeah.
It takes away, like, Matt Riddle's a badass dude. Like, when you call him just Riddle, I feel like it takes away a lot of his toughness, in my opinion.
Yeah. And that could be one of those things where maybe Vince was like, well, Matt's not really a tough guy name, but at the same time, like, neither's
Daniel Bryan, you know?
Right. And so I don't know. But then again, WWE is always about those one-word names. I mean, hell, they had Charlotte Flair be Charlotte for years.
Cesaro.
Yeah, and it's Rusev's another one. I mean, they were really all in on those one-word names for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't. Hell, you never know what they're thinking. I just thought that was such a weird thing.
Yeah.
Bobby Fish making some headway. It's not possible. It's confirmed. He is coming to AEW. He is challenging the new TNT champion, Sammy Guevara, for the TNT title. He just beat Miro this week. First of all, I'm a big fan of Sammy Guevara. He was a guy that I didn't get at first, but he's really grown on me.
Yep.
And Miro was on a huge tear as the TNT champion, so I thought that was really cool, little title change they did. Yep. And Bobby Fish is the first challenger. I mean, dude, Bobby Fish would be a huge asset to AEW.
Absolutely, and I think that's going to be one hell of a match. I loved Bobby Fish's work in NXT, and I'm excited to see what he does over here in AEW.
Yeah, definitely. And he falls in that category of like a really good worker that WWE let go, and AEW seems to going to be capitalizing on him. I don't get it personally. I don't know why they would let someone like Bobby go, but there you have it.
Yeah, and I know Bobby's a little bit older than most of the other cats in NXT, but at the same time, I mean, age equals experience in a lot of ways.
Sure.
And so I think he's a good asset to have around, even if they would have moved him to a more of a part-time position and had him be kind of player coach type of thing in NXT. I think that would have been smart on their part.
Oh, definitely. Rumor has it, I didn't even make a note of this, but it's worth talking about. Bray Wyatt's contract's up the end of October. Do you think he shows up in AEW? And if he does, like, what does he do?
His no compete clause, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Well, I mean, technically, so this is kind of a thing people don't get. The no compete works because they keep paying you until that day.
Right.
So you're technically still contract.
Employed.
You're still under contract.
Yeah. So it's October?
October 29th, I think, is what I was reading.
Oof. That's right before Halloween, too.
I mean, talk about timing is everything.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw some rumors that he might be going to Impact. I know Meltzer said that, but at the same time, it's Meltzer. So I don't know what to believe on his end. But at the same time, like, I feel like if one guy is going to go to AEW, that's the guy. That's the guy that needs to go to AEW.
I mean, if you're Tony Khan, you're throwing a pretty big play at Bray Wyatt, right?
Yeah, because to me, he's as big of a star, if not bigger to me, than Daniel Bryan.
No, I agree with that.
And the reason I say that is because he's done all the same things that Daniel Bryan has done in the WWE, but yet he's way younger. And I feel like Bray Wyatt is just now hitting that peak, whereas Daniel Bryan's kind of on his wind down a little bit.
Well, he's like Punk, right? It's the
yeah.
It's, I mean, I don't want to say like retirement tour, but it's like that. And I mean, I think they both probably have a few years left in the tank pretty easily.
Sure.
I mean, I honestly feel like Punk is moving. He looks and feels healthier than he did when he was in WWE in 2014, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's also because he's not working every single day of the week, too.
Right. And I mean, I feel like they've done a really good job of keeping him on the show, but not wrestling every night, which, again, he doesn't need to. Neither does Bray Wyatt. Neither does Kenny Omega. Neither does Sting. Like, have him in the mix, but he doesn't need to be out there working every single night.
Exactly.
So I personally think Bray showing up is a huge game changer for AEW. I don't really at all understand the logic of letting him go. Again, I equate that to like in '98 if Vince was like, "Hey, I'm letting go of the Undertaker." Like, what?
Right?
Why the hell would you do that? You know, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Or Mankind. You know, we're getting rid of him.
Yeah, the Steve Austin guy. I don't know. He's damaged goods. Let's get rid of him.
Right. And so I don't know. And then again, WWE might then again make another offer and bring him back. I mean, who knows?
Well, and they may, but I mean, at that point, I'd be kind of pissed and be like, no, I'm going elsewhere. You know, up yours, pal.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, Big Underscore Bane, you can say shit on NXT now.
Well, holy shit.
I mean, is this a case in point of AEW saying it so they're like, all right, guys, we need some more shitskis in here. Like, this ain't, we need, I don't know, like, I appreciate, this is such a weird thing to discuss, but I don't think bad language is necessary in wrestling. But I mean, if Steve Austin says, give me a heck yeah, like, it doesn't have the same effect, right?
Well, right. And that's the thing. I think if you're going to use certain vocabulary, it needs to be on a regular enough basis that it almost becomes white noise and you don't even think about it. Like, when AEW uses shit, I don't really, like, think about them using it because it's used so regularly that it almost seems like part of the conversation as a normal thing.
Right.
But like when WWE pulls it out, and they've pulled it out a lot more recently, they really emphasized the shit word. And like Bobby Lashley had Extreme Rules when he was talking about Big E and the way he cashed in his Money in the Bank, he was like, that makes you a chicken shit. And
right,
just like
over the top.
A big pause after that, like he was waiting for the reaction. And then they made it a point to replay that phrase on Raw the next day without blanking it out. And then here, baby Braun Breaker is like saying it, on NXT too. And
right.
It's like, I don't know. I think if you're going to use those words, it just needs to not feel forced.
Well, I mean, like, it's hard for WWE to do something that doesn't feel forced, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, you remember like when we were younger and we like really felt like we weren't supposed to cuss, but we would cuss, and we like really put emphasis on those cuss words, and like that's the way it feels. It feels like a little kid who's like their parents aren't around, so they're really gonna let it fly.
Yeah, it's like we're at school, we can cuss now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, but again, that to me is the problem. The thing is like when you throw the word shit out so often, I don't know, it desensitizes itself.
Right.
And I mean, here's the thing, like I don't recall them really ever saying that in the 90s, and if they did, it was very, very limited and usually bleeped. But we're looking at television shows on network television that say it all the time.
Right. Well, and I recall the main time I can remember it being said on the microphone was when Bret Hart said it.
Right.
After that cage match. That was really the only time that I can recall it being said on camera, but I that was probably a pay-per-view.
No, that was a Raw, actually.
Oh, was it a Raw?
That's when he shoved Vince down?
Yeah, I said, this is bullshit.
Yeah, well, he had actually even said in an interview they were supposed to bleep him.
Yeah.
And I don't think they did or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, to me, that's like, to me, like, if you're WWE and you're trying to freshen your product, that's not the way. Like, that's not going to be like, oh, man, and make sure we watch Raw live because Bobby Lashley might say the shit word tonight.
Yeah.
I could care less about that. To me, it's like it's garnish on top of a decent program. Like if you have two people that despise each other and they drop harsh language, it emphasizes the anger that's there, and that's the reason they're fighting and blah, 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 blah. But if it's just casually thrown out there, you're a chicken shit. Like,
yeah.
Like you said, it's overemphasized and it comes across as just bad acting.
Yeah. Well, and poor Bobby Lashley, he's terrible on the microphone anyway, so
right.
Which
is probably why they gave him that word, like, oh, this will help you.
Yeah, and it could be because but then again, it came across just really, really poor, and it's, again, I feel bad for the guy because he's a legit badass and he could literally kick everybody's ass, I would assume, and but he cannot talk.
I remember in like 2006 he had this infamous promo where, he was feuding with Finlay a lot at that time, which was smart because Finlay was such a good worker.
Yeah.
And, Finlay's thing is, my name is Finlay and I love to fight. And Bobby came out and he was like, you say your name is Finlay and you love to fight? I say your name is Finlay and you're a bastard. But he has a slight list, so like the internet was going crazy saying bath turd. And I'm just like, again, like you're trying to make the guy edgy, and it's like you are doing him no favors.
No.
Like to me, like that whole exchange would have been so much better if he'd just double legged him and not said anything and start beating the piss out of him.
Yeah.
It's that weird thing of like, no, we're gonna have him cut a promo and it like sucks dick horribly. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Not a fan.
No.
Leo Rush is All Elite. Last I heard, this guy retired.
I was going to say, coming out of retirement.
So what's funny about that, if I read this correctly, he retired, but then he was like, I'm going to fulfill my NJPW dates, which I guess he's about done with, and now he's signed with AEW.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think he ever actually stopped wrestling. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I think it's one of those cases like maybe something didn't go your way and you're like, okay, well, I'm done. And then you really don't want to be done because you're still in your like mid-20s. And
right,
so,
and you still need to make your house payments.
right. And so it's like, yeah, okay, I'll come back. I think it's just
well, I told you before, I'm not a fan of the guy, and it's things like that that make me like not a fan of him. I'm just like,
yeah,
I don't care, Like I did see his little vignette, and it wasn't bad. Like it looked like he was almost like trying to sell a pyramid scheme, but which that actually wouldn't be a terrible character, honestly. But
no,
yeah, I was just ugh.
I actually am a fan of Leo Rush. I think his in-ring work is fantastic. I think he's great on the microphone. I just think he's young and dumb, and that's what it is. And I think that's probably, I'm guessing here, but I would assume that's probably what ruins you on him is just the fact that he's young and stupid. And
yeah, but it's just something about him. Like he's got go away heat with me. I can't explain it. I mean, there's some guys in wrestling that just have that where you're just like, I just don't care. And like, I don't want to watch this guy at all. And it's falls like
the same. Yeah, it's probably the same with me and Kenny Omega's manager right now, Don Callis or whatever.
It's exactly what it is. You're just like, I can't stand that guy. And I'm
I enjoy Don Callis. I just don't want to see him.
I enjoy Don Callis because I think he's a good heel. But it's like, but I totally get that. Like I could, same way like I can appreciate Jim Cornette, but when he just starts doing 3-hour podcasts dogging AEW, it's like, that's not what I want to hear. I want to hear you telling stories of Memphis, like.
Right.
That's what I enjoy about the guy. So I think it's something similar to that. But I mean, good on Leo Rush. I think WWE did not use him very well, and now maybe it's his opportunity to kind of win people over, maybe myself included. Who knows?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there, but yeah, I know Tony Khan was definitely interested in bringing in Leo Rush, so good on him. Make that money.
Yeah, for sure.
Arn Anderson made some news. He had so about a week ago, he slips off the ring apron, and I don't know how. I'm sure you saw the clip, and I remember just being like, oh, like that just sucks, like because he was trying to swing around the post, and Arn's got a bad hand, as we all know from his neck injury, so. Trying to swing around the post, let's be honest, that's not the easiest thing to do, like, when you're fresh and all that stuff. It's easy to slip off. And so he slipped and fell, and I was just like, oh, poor Arn. Yeah. But then he comes out this week, and he just cuts this, like, dude, this is just like one of those promos where you're like, holy shit. Like, that's why you don't script a promo right there.
Yeah, a scathing promo, for sure. The analogy of getting carjacked is one that I don't think I've ever heard in professional wrestling. And then for him to say, like, I'm the type of guy who will pull out the Glock, point it at his forehead, and blast his brains all over the concrete. Like, my God. It reminds me of, like...
But here's the thing. He didn't need to say shit on there, right? Because
exactly. He painted a hell of a picture without using any curse words.
But that, to me, like, that's the real art form. Like, I remember there was a guy on the Independents that I guess when he would come out through the curtain and fans would boo him, he'd be like, F you, F you, F you, like, to every person. And people were like, I remember one of my trainers was like, that's just such cheap heat. Like,
yeah.
They are booing you, so it's just like, F you, F you, F you. It's like, it's so cheap. Like, do something else. Like, there was a guy in Ring of Honor named, gosh, I can't think of his name right now. Jimmy Rave, that was his name. And this was such a good gimmick. He'd come out, he had this like look on his face, like, I hate all these people. He'd get in the ring, he'd throw his hands up, and the second he would do that, everyone would just launch toilet paper like streamers at him.
Oh, yeah?
And he would get so pissed, and he would throw every single one of them back. And I'm like, damn, that's good shit, though. You know what I mean? Because like that's... If you always look at wrestling as like wrestling's a totally different thing. Look, what's one thing the non-fan's going to remember? That they're going to remember.
Yeah.
The dude that got pelted with toilet paper and made sure he threw every single roll back in the crowd. Like, that's good stuff. Yeah. And to me, like, that's like not the type of heat. Like, is he asking for that reaction, like knowing when he throws his hands up or whatever it was he did? they're going to throw the toilet paper. Yes, but he's not. You know what I mean? He's not like F you. It's totally a different type of heat. And again, I think right there with Arn Anderson, like I don't feel like he's done a lot of promos since he's been in AEW, but that proved right there. It's like, dude still has it for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and again, I feel like there's not a lot of guys that can make that promo work too, but he also made it a point to say, like, you know, because they were talking about Malachi Black, and that was the whole point about that promo. And he said, like, he's like, Cody, I would get in this ring and fight him myself, but I'm just too damn old. Mm-hmm. And then that kind of led about to, you know, the whole gun part, and it was basically him saying, like, I'm going to protect myself with anything I got, and it was just there was a point to him saying that. It wasn't just like, I'm going to pull out a gun and, you know, pop you. It was like there was a point to it, and it was like, shit's fucking badass. And there's not a lot of guys that I feel like a lot of guys will say things to get that reaction, but there's not a whole lot of meaning behind what they're saying. And Arn just does such a fantastic job of like making sure everything that he says has meaning.
Which again, I think that's part of that's the key, right? Is making people believe what you're saying is like a legitimate thing instead of reading a script.
Right.
And I feel like that kind of goes back to the whole thing of like promos like that. That's the stuff that like you stop and be like, oh damn, that was good. Or I need to rewatch that again. That was good. Like I remember when Jake Roberts debuted in AEW, his promo was like that. It really hit.
Yeah.
And stuff like that I feel like is what's missing.
Absolutely.
We got a little bit of movie talk here. What do you say we dive into it?
Let's do it.
This is Breaker and Bane up at the movies, yeah. This is Breaker and Bane up at the movies, yeah. All right, fellas. Go ahead and take it from here. What you got now?
All right, I'll tell you what we got now. Big_Bane, it has officially been announced. Season 4 of Cobra Kai will debut on Netflix December the 31st. That's an interesting day, right?
It is. It is. New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. I don't know what day of the week that falls on. I assume it's a Friday because usually the new stuff shows up on Friday. But I know you kind of came around on Cobra Kai a little bit late, but man, it's a great show. What do you think about it?
I'm really digging it. Yeah, I came in late on that just because it was on YouTube TV and I had no desire to get YouTube TV.
I think that's how a lot of people were. It's like, I don't need another streaming service for one show.
Yeah, and so I luckily held out, and it showed up to Netflix, and yeah, I'm really digging it. So I'm super excited about this new season.
I am too. I absolutely love Cobra Kai. I think it's been an amazing show. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Season 4 is going to be killer, and they're already, renewed it for a 5th season. So
yeah,
that's great stuff, man.
Yeah. Speaking of Netflix, I have binge watched this show, and I feel like I've told on the podcast quite a few times I don't really get on Netflix very much, but I got on it to see their Halloween stuff, and I ran across this new show called Squid Game. Mm-hmm. And it is like hugely popular, I guess, right now. And it is a Korean show actually, but they have the dubs for English. And
I saw somebody put that over on social media. Like, you need to watch it. It's so good,
dude. Holy shit! It is fantastic. Basically, what it is it gathers up like over 400 people who are in debt, bring them to this one location, and they all play like games like you played when you were kids. So like the first game is red light, green light. And like basically, if you win, you move on to the next round. If you don't win, you get eliminated, AKA they blast your effing face off.
Well, that's kind of a risky game.
Dude, it is insane, but the whole point is that like everybody playing this game is like mega in debt, and for every person that ends up getting eliminated, like I think it was like $1 million or something like that gets added to the pot or $100 million or something like that. But it's whatever Korean money is. I think it's won is what they call it. But
yeah.
Anyway, it's an insane show. If you get time, if you're listening to the show and you get time, check that out. I highly recommend it. My God, it's amazing.
What's it called again?
It's called Squid Game.
I'll have to check that out. It's a series?
Yep, it's 9 episodes.
That's awesome. That is very, very cool. We have a little bit of toy talk. Why do you say we dive into it?
Let's do it.
Here we go, open the box. It's the part of the show where Breaker and Bane do a bit of toy talk. Here we go, open the box. It's the part of the show where Breaker and Bane do a bit of toy talk.
All right, Big Underscore Band, I didn't even prep you on this ahead of time because I was trying to think of something we could talk about here. But I picked this up I did a little unboxing video, which you can check out on our Patreon. I picked these up at Target the other day. They're called Aikido Warriors. And I've seen them there before. Didn't really know much about them. The main reason I picked them up is my nephew has been telling me for a really long time he wants to do a kids YouTube channel. And I'm like, well, okay. I could help you do it. I don't really know what you would do, but, it's something we could do. His mom, my sister, was like, yeah, that's fine if he wants to do it, as long as we monitor it and stuff.
Yeah.
And I asked him if he knew what Aikido Warriors were, and apparently they're big on kids' YouTube, where they play them, and they're kind of like karate fighters. And so I bought this pack, and one of them was like an evil clown, kind of like Doink or Krusty, and then like this kung fu guy. And then they also have like mystery packs, and those are like $5 for the mystery pack. But it's like you don't know what the figure's going to be.
Yeah,
dude, like the idea of unboxing mystery figures is super fun. Like it's a pretty cool little, like the game itself is pretty fun. Like the little figures are only probably about an inch tall, but if you hit their head, basically their body just falls apart, and that signifies you lost. Like the little controller that they're on has a scorecard, so you can kind of keep score. Like there's up to 10 points. It's a pretty cool little thing, man. Like, and doing the unboxing of the mystery figures has kind of been a fun thing. And it's got a little checklist. And this is kind of where it feels like it's like a game and a collectible.
Oh, nice.
Because there's all these different categories. So you have the classic, epic, ultra rare, and legendary, and then exclusive ultra rare. So there's all these different figures, and they all vary in value and stuff.
Awesome.
So it's pretty cool. So next time we're able to podcast in person, maybe we could, play them a little bit on the show. I don't know. It's kind of a fun thing. Like I ended up buying a couple of more of the mystery characters. One of them I got is his name is Shreddy Bear, and he kind of looks like an evil Care Bear.
Okay.
Which is fantastic. And then this other mystery guy I got, he's like a Viking. So I mean, they have their names on here, but then I got the clown and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't know, kind of a fun little thing. And, I know we've discussed a lot about toys and collectibles and, are they geared towards kids or are collectibles geared more towards adults? And
yeah,
I feel like this is the first time where I'm like, these actually I feel like are geared towards kids. I feel like adult collectors could get into them, but I do feel like it's a kid geared thing, which is fun. You don't see that as much anymore.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a great idea.
And also, too, I dig, and I talked to, Travis Fowler on TB Toycast about this, but I dig the fact that it's like a $5 price point because you just don't see that anymore.
Yeah, I think more toys need to be that price point.
Dude, have you noticed all the figures have actually gone up in price a couple of bucks?
Is it like $12.99 now or $14.99 or something like that?
Elites are like $22.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if basics went up, but I know Mattel did a price jump, and I think Hasbro did too. So like, typically like $19.99 was kind of the standard issue for that type of figure. I think they're all like $21.99 now.
Jeez.
So I mean, again, it's just like, well, that sucks, but that's just kind of the way it is. But with these, I think it's cool because you can do the single figure mystery pack. Those are $5. They had a 2-pack, and that was $10. They have 3 packs for $15 and 4 packs for $20 and stuff like that. So again, it's kind of cool because there's a bunch of different ways to collect. But also too, the mystery packs could get dangerous if you start getting a good collection because I'm sure it's very easy to get the same figure multiple times.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And Travis actually showed me, like I have they gave you a little guide here. There's a limited edition Very hard to find. His name is Storm Strike. And it's a glow-in-the-dark figure. I guess it's ultra rare. And Travis sent me an eBay link, and it was going for $1,200.
Damn.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, it's fun for kids. Could be fun for collectors. This might be one of the first toy lines in years where it's kind of hit both sides of the coin. Very, very hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Big_Bane, Falltality has happened. We are back on the road to Ghosts, Goblins, and Grapple Holds. We got some updates for people. What do you want to talk about here?
Well, you know, I've been holding this in all episode. I'm a little bit peeved off at you and Bill Venus. You know, for one, you know, we talked last week about how Jack Gamble dropped the Gatekeeper Championship at Falltality, not you know, vacating it, but just physically dropped the title on the rampway and walked away from it. And
it had all of us confused, for sure. So
I asked you to communicate with him, figure out what the dealio is with it. Well, apparently, Bill Venus on commentary said that you and him talked to Jack Gamble, and Jack Gamble debuted a brand new title this Friday at Adrenaline called the Grand Prix Openweight Championship. And I'm just pissed off more than anything that I wasn't involved in this, Breaker.
So, real quick, why is everything about you?
I'm the majority shareholder of PHPW. I feel like I need to be involved in the decision making. And why is Bill Venus even a part of it? He's not an owner. Like, why did you communicate with Bill Venus to get this? Like, that makes zero sense to me. You don't even like Bill Venus.
I don't, but I also don't really like you, so that's kind of why. So let me just, here's what I know, and we'll kind of go from there. So Jack Gamble, after some, I gave him some time to cool down. I said, cool your jets, and let's have a little conversation. We go back many years, as you know. And he told me, he was like, I don't like the fact that people look at the Gatekeeper title as less than. He said, I worked my ass off to get this title, and to me, it's as big a deal as the PHPW Championship. And I was like, I can respect that.
I get it.
The problem is, everyone looks at this as the stepping stone to the PHPW Championship. And I'm like, sure. And he was like, in my opinion, I'm a better champion than Tier 1 ever was. I'm a better champion than Elvis Aliaga ever was. I'm a better champion than Mike the Cleaner ever was. And he said, I want this title to represent that. And so he told me that he is officially vacating the Gatekeeper Championship. Big_Bane. But wait, before you go insane and start throwing crap around, he vacated that title, but at the same time, he has declared himself the first ever inaugural PHPW Grand Prix Openweight Championship. And what that means is really anyone's guess, but he claims that this title is on par with the PHPW Championship. And I am pretty sure he will be debuting that title very soon.
Well, Breaker, he showed up with it on Adrenaline, and it's a beautiful title. Don't get me wrong, but it's I feel like I need to be in the loop on these things, Breaker. I mean,
of course you do. Of course you feel that way, but you don't. You don't need to be.
I'm a little bit perturbed that you, of all people, don't get that, and you go behind my back, hang out with old Billy B, and just make decisions without me.
It's almost like, I think this would be a lot worse. You tell me, but what if I brought in people to just beat up random guys so they couldn't get title matches, and throw my power around so that a guy that I personally disliked lost his title just to make his life miserable. You know what I mean? It's kind of feels like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, as a majority shareholder, I would be highly upset by that. Yes.
Yeah, and you did all of those things.
As majority shareholder, it's acceptable.
It
when
is
I do
not.
it.
It is not acceptable. And you don't like it. Well, guess what? I'm still 49% owner, pal.
Yeah. I don't know. Something doesn't smell right here. Either way, it's a gorgeous title, and I'm excited for Jack Gamble, and I think this new division is going to be fantastic for all the PHPW competitors. But I have questions about this championship, Breaker.
What are your questions?
So, I mean, is he going? How often is this going to be defended? Because he's talking like this is like a workhorse championship. I mean, are we talking like, open weight, open challenges here? I mean, or is this going to be defended on pay-per-views like the other one? What's happening here?
I mean, the way I see it, Jack Gamble's a fighting champion, and I don't see him turning down any challenger, whether that's on Adrenaline, whether that's on pay-per-view. And as far as I'm concerned, let's make him earn that title. I mean, because here's the thing too. Like, and I told Jack Gamble this. I was like, you throwing down our title live on pay-per-view in front of a capacity crowd. We're live on YouTube. Like, it makes all of us look bad. So
it's not a good look.
You got to communicate with the boss and Bane as well, and let us know what is happening.
Boss.
Wait, what?
I'm the boss.
You're the boss?
I'm the big chief. I'm the boss.
You just make up nicknames for yourself?
I'm El Jefe.
El Jefe?
Yes.
I think you have another report due at the Daily Planet there, pal.
The boss. That's the boss in Spanish. El Jefe. I am the man.
Congratulations on that. But anyway, that being said, Jack Gamble is the new PHPW Grand Prix Openweight Champion. And I think he'll take on all comers. Throw him out. Throw him out to him. He'll knock him down.
Fine. Maybe just next week on Adrenaline, I'll put him in a fatal 5-way, and we'll just see if he can hack it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. He's kind of dug his own grave in a lot of cases, right? He has not made a lot of friends. I know him and John Webb are probably not on speaking terms at this point. Former PHPW Tag Team Champions, but prove yourself, man.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm not going to put him in a fatal 5-way. What I am going to do, though, Breaker, is next week on Adrenaline, I'm going to have a number one contendership for the Grand Prix Openweight Championship.
I like it.
And I'm going to have Scott Toon, a fully posable.
Oh, that's an opportunity there for Scott Toon. I like it.
Yeah, because if you ask me, Jeff with 1F doesn't deserve it. He just
got back from injury. I think he does deserve it.
I don't trust Jeff with 1F. He brings people on his show like, Tier 1 Travis Fowler. I'm not going to give him an opportunity, but I am going to give Scott Toon an opportunity. Okay? And then he's going to take on Eric Brown of Doing the Favor.
Ooh, another tag team specialist.
Yes. So, Scott Toon, Eric Brown, one of these two men will have an opportunity to face Jack Gamble as Jack Gamble defends for the first time ever the Grand Prix Openweight Championship.
I'm looking forward to it. It's a beautiful looking title, as everyone will see on Adrenaline if you're a patron member. And I'm curious to see who the next challenger is going to be for Jack Gamble. It's going to be quite a match.
Yeah, but here one more quick thing for Adrenaline Breaker. Again, I'm not happy with the way you handled this whole situation. So I'm going to put you in a match. This Friday.
You're going to put me in a match, huh?
Yeah. As 50% shareholder, I believe I can do that. You're going to be in a match this Friday. So get your gear. Dust off your gear, pal. I'm going to put you in the match with Dmitry Alexandrov.
I'm okay with that. Dimitri's a guy that's up and coming in PHPW, but he's going to better bring his working boots. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, he'll bring it. He'll bring his working boots. And his working boots are made for walking, and they're going to walk all over you or something to that effect.
Got that?
Heard a niner in there. That's...
We got a lot of stuff happening on PHPW, and then of course, Ghost Goblins and Grapple Holds it's our anniversary event, Big_Bane. I mean, it's one thing we can both agree on. It's going to be quite a night.
Absolutely, Ghost Goblins and Grapple Holds 2021. It's going to be one heck of an event. I'm excited for it, and hopefully everybody at home is too.
Absolutely. I'm definitely looking forward to that. It's going to be great. But it's about that time, Big_Bane. We have reached the end of our rope of the cringy WCW tournament. Are you ready to crown our champion, our tournament champion?
I am absolutely ready.
So it came down to our finals here. It was Oklahoma and WCW versus Judy Bagwell on a pole. And that it's one of those things. Oklahoma was almost so cringy that it was a clean sweep of the tournament, right?
Yeah, and it was one of those things. I felt like after we made the bracket and started the tournament, I quickly realized, like, okay, Oklahoma is quite unmatched here.
Yeah.
So it's no surprise to me that he comes out the winner.
69% to 31%, Oklahoma is the cringiest moment in WCW history, and I cannot disagree.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a fun tournament. It was really cool to dive into that again. But I believe it is my turn to pick the next tournament. Is that right?
It is. It absolutely is.
But I think I want to wait a couple of weeks.
Okay.
I want to pull a Big_Bane and just be like, I have nothing prepared. No, I do, but I want to wait. I want to wait a few weeks and just kind of take some time before we decide our next tournament. But you know, it is fun doing these tournaments. Which has been your favorite so far?
So we've done
this. We've done fictional pro wrestlers, Marvel versus DC. Man, we did some other. Which other ones did we do?
I think Marvel vs. DC was the second one we did, so we had one right before that.
Yeah.
Was it like best tag teams or something like that?
Maybe. I don't think it was best tag teams. I can't remember what it was, but
I can't remember either.
Yeah, it was something. It was fun though.
Yeah, it was fun. I don't know. I've had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the Marvel vs. DC one. Yeah. I think that's something we could revisit down the line and maybe take out like the main eventers and just maybe do like a second string, third string, Marvel DC.
Absolutely.
And I think that way, because that one was another one. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. They had handicaps in those, and I think it ended up being Batman versus Spider-Man, if I'm not mistaken.
So I think I know what my my tournament's going to be. I just thought of it, and I think it's brilliant. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready for it.
90s fads. So something that was popular in the 90s.
Okay.
So, I mean, that could be like Pogs.
Gene Co's.
Yep. Goosebumps. I mean.
Bowl cut hairstyles.
The Jeff with 1F special.
Yes. I rocked a hell of a bowl cut back in the day.
Dude, you had a ridiculously good bowl cut. I mean, you were making it happen.
Oh yeah.
You know what's weird is like, did any of us get that done and look in the mirror at the haircutting place and be like, wow, that's great.
I'll be honest. I think I did, because I would put so much hair gel in mine that it laid flat, and I used to think like, damn, that's good. Looks good.
I remember a kid in my class. We were in elementary school, and he had a bowl cut, but at the very bottom it turned into a V. And
amazing.
And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Gosh, damn, that was ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, so ugly. But for some reason, it was just like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Man.
Absolutely ridiculous. Well, one quick thing I want to throw out there before we dive into our shout-outs. One of our young listeners celebrated a birthday this week.
Yes.
Brooks of the Haddocks Boys, I believe, turned 5. And there's a picture out there on the Twitter world of him rocking our Real American Podcast shirt. I know he's a big fan of the show, so we want to give a shout out to Brooks, man. Happy birthday, bud.
Yeah, huge shout out to Brooks. Hope you had a happy birthday, and tell your daddy to go buy you some extra candy on us.
Absolutely. Speaking of T-shirts, we got to touch on this, man. We released a new shirt design this past week over on What a Maneuver. It is our Power Havoc design. Obviously, this is something we both enjoy as, seasonal themed shirts. But Jason Wolf made this kind of loosely inspired by like the '90s Halloween Havoc design. Man, it's super cool. I can't wait to get mine.
Yeah, dude, I'm really excited about that one. I actually, that's probably one of my more favorite designs.
I completely agree. It's super cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the just a big fan of the Halloween designs, and I think think that's why I was so quick to buy Tales from the Estates shirt because it was like that.
Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt, and I was like, oh, I need that, absolutely need that, and so I'm super excited to get this one. I'm all about it, and then we'll have the Ghost Goblins and Grapple Holds design up soon, also.
That's right.
And so,
do we have any PHPW updates? I mean, because we're rolling into October. I don't know if you're planning to make any more shirts this month, or if we're going to wait a little bit. Because I know we got a bunch of shirts up right now, and I personally want to buy a bunch of them. I just haven't gotten around to it, and
I've kind of thought about holding off a little bit.
I think it's a good idea. Maybe a month or two.
Yeah, and maybe pick it back up in November or December. Just kind of let these breathe and kind of let everybody. That way, we're not getting backed up. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I know there's so many designs I want to get, and I want to stress out to everybody on these shirts. If you buy a shirt for doing the favor, Ethan Chambers, Drew Vinsel, you directly support them. So by all means, pick up a shirt.
Yeah, and I mean it's similar concept, you know what I mean? Like how we were talking last week on the show, like if you want to support guys like Cesaro, go buy his t-shirt, go buy his figures.
Right.
If you want to see us push certain guys, go buy their t-shirt. You know what I mean? That's the only way they're going to get championships in PHPW.
Good Lord, man. You're so corrupt. but in this case I don't disagree. But yeah, and What a Maneuver is a really cool place. They're awesome to work with. We have 3 designs up now on our store. We have the Real American Podcast. We have the Power Mowing Hour, which I feel like is a super underrated shirt. It's a really fun design.
Yeah, and that's one that I still haven't. I keep forgetting to buy myself.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I was actually planning to buy both of them. I think because I haven't bought that one yet either, and I don't know why. I just. Sometimes you forget, and I think it's also one of those things with a T-shirt. There's no time limit, so you're just like, I'll get to it eventually, and
right, yep.
And then you just kind of forget, but it happens.
Yep.
We have 3 shirts now in What a Maneuver. But again, I think the cool thing about What a Maneuver is you can directly support a lot of people doing the favor. Tales from the Estate, Fully Posable, Dobro, GBM, Ringside Rant, Boot to the Face. I might be missing somebody. I apologize if I am, but. TV Toycast, that's another one.
Yeah,
we all have shirt stores up there, so it's a way to buy multiple shirts, save a little bit on your shipping, and the whole deal. It's great stuff.
Absolutely.
Big_Bane, anything else you want to add before we get out of here, man?
That is it.
All right. Well, I want to, of course, throw some shout outs to some of our podcasting brothers. Of course, Fully Posable. Jeff and Scott, the Wrestling Figure Podcast. Give them a follow. Check out their show. Last week, me and Tier 1 Travis Fowler from TB Toycast joined in and got to talk about Owen Hart figures and all kinds of good stuff. So check that out as well.
Absolutely.
Scott also has a side project, Drunk Wrestling History. They're not always right, but they are always drunk. It's fun.
Yes, absolutely.
We already mentioned it before, but Doing the Favor, Eric and Barry, another great show. I love those guys. Love hearing their podcast. So much fun, and I mean, you kind of dropped a bombshell. Eric Brown could be wearing some singles gold soon if things go his way, right?
I mean, the man is just built to wear gold. You know what I mean? And so I think it's only fitting. And I mean, it might be a good opportunity too, because I mean, it might bring a little bit of inner heat between the two. Maybe a little competitive spirit. Maybe now Barry Frost wants some shot at the gold, and you know what I mean? I mean,
absolutely, it happens.
It's good times.
Definitely. So check out those shows. Check out the Positively Pro Wrestling Podcast with Steve and Eric. They also have a T-shirt store in What a Maneuver. I forgot about them, so check them out as well. They got I think 3 or 4 designs up.
Yeah.
The Ringside Rant with RJ is another fun show. The Leisure and Lariats Podcast with Ruthless Ryan Davidson. Boot to the Face with Marty and Rucker. Tales from the Estate with Drew Vinsel and his wife Caitlin, which is absolutely phenomenal. I think they did a top 5 cereals just today as we record this, and of course, Big_Bane was quick to jump in with his grandpa cereals.
Yeah, and actually, full disclosure, I haven't been able to listen to podcasts all week. I've been training a guy at work, so I've fallen behind a little bit. But as soon as I get caught up on podcasts, I'm going to chime in with how wrong he is with his sugary cereal crap, and how he needs to be eating the hearty cereals, with the bran and the flakes and things of that nature. So I'm just putting it out there.
Good Lord.
I know.
That's fun. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I love those guys over there, Drew
for
and
sure.
Caitlin. Yeah, they're great people.
Definitely love that show. They're awesome. I know they got twins on the way, which I'm super stoked about.
Yeah.
Mitch Tales from the State, Wreck My Podcast with Jordan Zeilinger and his crew. I think they're still doing some stuff on Twilight, which has got to be exhausting. I mean, it's one of those things. Like I do know. One thing I enjoy about their show is them talking about bad movies, but I don't envy them watching bad movies. Me and you have done that before, and my God, that's a task.
Yeah, I mean, we sat through some Hulk Hogan movie, and that was just horrendous.
Oh God, horrible.
Yeah.
No thanks. Trivia with Buds with Ryan Buds, pulling up a chair with a chair shot. Night of the Nerdy Laser podcast, and then Howlin' with the Wolf with our buddy Jason Wolf, who also does amazing artwork, the Chop Shop, all kinds of great stuff. So check all that stuff out, and we would appreciate it. Just give them follows, check out their stuff, support them. Wrestling comic books, Grapple Hold, To Be the Man, Evil Ain't Good, Tales from Planet WrestleTopia, Amazon Comixology to check those out. And then, of course, me and Bane have other podcasting projects. You know it's fake, right? Every Monday, just dropped an episode with the Kingpin Mike Isles, which was a fun listen. And you're going to enjoy next week's episode, Big_Bane. I'm sitting down with Soda Hunter.
Amazing.
Yeah, really fun conversation. So I'm excited for everyone to hear that.
That's awesome.
And then, of course, the TV Toycast with me and Travis Fowler. This just today, as we record this, we dropped an episode on Wave 2 of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was fun. That's the wave that featured Casey Jones, which is still one of my favorite turtle figures of all time.
Yep.
So that's very cool stuff. And then, of course, No Holds Barred with Bill Venus. I know me and Bill made some executive decisions without you, and you weren't too pleased about it, were you?
And Bill has no right to make executive decisions. He's not even an owner. I don't know why he's even allowed in the conversation, but it just makes no sense. But you know,
it might make sense down the road. You never know.
It better not. I hope not. But if you ever want to hear Billy B on your audio again, head on over to Patreon. $1 a month right now. He's commenting with me on Adrenaline, and it's a living nightmare. But you know, October's coming up. I mean, hell, it's already October as this drops, and you know, Halloween's coming up, so that means, you know, I'm sure we'll have a Halloween special, and who knows, before too long, it might be, you know, time for season 5. I don't know.
It could be. Speaking of Halloween special, October the 8th, it's going to be a pretty good day. We're going to see the debut of The Freaks, right?
Yes, The Freaks will be dropping on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to your tunes. So check that out. I've been kind of dropping a little promo video here and there. Been, you know, really making some people in this house uncomfortable that I live in because of that, you know, particular promo videos. So.
That image also, it's not exclusive to your house. That also made me uncomfortable.
Yeah. So I have no problem making myself look like a fool to promote my music. So it's just one of those things. And it's, I'm really excited about this song. I think it's going to be a fun song, and I hope everybody enjoys it. And it's a huge departure from anything I've ever done. So this will be interesting to see how people react to it.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to it, man. I can't wait. So The Freaks, October the 8th. Check it out. It's going to be available on all the ways you stream your music. So get ready for it. It's going to be great.
Absolutely.
If you want to support us, patreon.com/BBPH is the way to do that. You get the weekly energy shot. You get Breaker Retro Gamer about once a month. You get PHPW Adrenaline. In fact, I've actually been throwing up a couple of videos up there on Patreon for everybody.
Yes.
I did an unboxing of my IVP Videos Puro box. In fact, I got the Blu-ray right here. If anyone hasn't seen the video, I got the best of Dusty Rhodes in Madison Square Garden.
Awesome.
So pretty fun release. And I also did an unboxing of the Aikido Warriors. So you can see that. There's also going to be a third one coming up soon. I just haven't released it yet. So that'd be kind of something fun to do from time to time. And it's a great way to support us. And we're not like selling content. I don't look at it that way. If you want to support us, it's a good way to do that. And we give you all these little thank yous if you do it. So it's great stuff.
For sure.
Outsiders Beard Co. If you got a beard, get you some beard balm and beard oil. All that good stuff.
Definitely, yeah. Fall scents are up. And let me tell you, guys with beards, the ladies love the way your beard smell when you have this shit in your beard. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. If your beard smells musky, you're going to want to put some of my balm in your beard. Let me put my balm in your beard. Let me put my butter in your beard. All right? Let me do it.
Getting a little bit into that weird area, man. But I can appreciate your thoughts there. But yeah, definitely get you some beard balm. It's the truth. Yeah, get you some beard balm, beard oil, make it happen. It's great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Finally, if you want to pick up a t-shirt of ours, there's several ways to do it. There's prowrestlingtees.com/Brian Breaker. There's bbph.redbubble.com. There's whatamaneuver.net. Search by store for Breaker and Bane's Power Hour. Also, Big_Bane has a shirt store, as does the TB Toycast and many of our podcasting buddies. And then, of course, also phpwshop.com. You can buy individual t-shirts of a lot of the PHPW superstars and event shirts for Fatality and coming soon, Ghosts, Goblins, and Grapple Holds.
Absolutely.
So check all that good stuff out. Anything else, man?
That's it.
Thank you guys for checking out Breaker and Bane's Power Hour. I'm Brian Breaker.
I'm Bane.
And we will see you guys in 7 days.
Peace easy.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top, and I can shut down the shop. Like Randy Savage, I'm the cream of the crop, and I'm always gonna rise to the top. People's champ like The Rock. I do not give a fuck, so let that shit drop. Man, I'm so over.
Double pistols. What'd you think?
It's good. It was really good. Pretty good.
That son of a bitch, Eric Barker.
You son of a bitch.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Perfect.
Put it on the internet.